Time, not space. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Hello, and welcome back to I Don't Know What You're Talking About with Erin and Garrett, a podcast between a married couple where we chat about some things that have been running through our head lately. Erin, what's been running through your head? Also, listeners should note that this podcast has become bi-monthly, which could mean every 2 weeks or every 2 months.
We're using both definitions.
Exactly. We're both kinds of bi-monthly.
I like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking we were going to get back on the schedule, but maybe every 2 weeks is a good.
I like just keeping them on their toes. Might drop whenever. We might be done forever, or when a new one might come in.
Our friend told us that she was listening to the podcast the other day and pretending we were in the back seat of her car while she was driving around.
Which I think we should do a live episode from the back of her car. We could do a live app while she just drives us around Scappoose.
I'm in.
A Scappoose tour, and we can talk about what we see. Let us know if you're in, mysterious friend. Oh my gosh, I hit record, and immediately our dog started clacking across the floor with her little nails, and I got upset. Well, not upset, but I was like, I gotta cut that out. And I let her outside, and then I was instantly reminded of the time that she got skunked at this house. And I feel like, didn't you tell me one time that somebody has like a giant bell they ring every time their dog goes outside to scare off skunks?
I think it's one of our neighbors.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Never heard the bell. Is it attached to the wall? Is it like a dinner bell situation, or?
Oh, we do have bells out there we could use.
We have bells?
Well, that like string of
Oh, the wind chime?
bells.
That string of bells hanging from our gutter?
Yeah. I've been thinking about the clothing exchange that I'm hosting in
I've been thinking about it as well.
about a week.
Tell us about it.
Me and a friend are hosting a clothing exchange later in April, and it will be too late to sign up when you hear this.
Now, if we crank it out, honey,
That's true.
we can get it out there. So, who's the target demo? Sorry to use industry terms.
I mean, it could be anyone that. Well, what we put on the information about the exchange
Are
is.
you going to be constantly typing while talking?
I wasn't typing.
You weren't typing. I'm sorry, that's the story you're going with? Sorry, I'll back down.
I was trying to log back into my laptop.
Oh, I see.
I was typing the password.
Okay.
So let me just do it so that I'll stop. Can't believe you just freaked out about me typing. I thought we were going to be casual this episode.
We are, and I'm letting all my thoughts come to the front of my brain. I'm not holding anything back.
It will mostly be women, but anyone that identifies as a woman or likes kind of femme clothes, I mean, that will probably be the majority of the clothing there. So it's for anyone, but will likely be what people have to choose from.
And you guys, I've already seen a lot of this clothing stacking up in our garage, and there's some good stuff in there for sure.
Yeah, there is good stuff. People are bringing their best out.
I'm not being sarcastic. I mean, I think that you guys have recruited a lot of good tastemakers. Is that how you use that word?
Also, I think a lot of people have like a stack of things that are hard to just take to Buffalo Exchange because they're pretty fun items. So it's a little bit depressing to take them to get like $30 for this bag of fun stuff. So we've heard a lot of people say that they're giving us their so it doesn't go to some random person. They're bringing their best stack of clothes that they don't wear anymore.
Because they know it'll go to a good home. Nice.
Yeah.
You just reminded me of going with you to sell clothes at Buffalo Exchange, and the girl would always be like, oh, this is so cute, but we're not taking this type of thing right now. Oh my God, I love this, but no, we won't take this. What?
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah. Do you think they're required to comment on it like a Trader Joe's employee?
Maybe just so people don't feel so bad.
Right. But they seem kind of like jerks. Like they can be like, trash, trash. This is sort of cute. Trash.
I feel like when I've gone to some of the better consignment stores recently, it's a much better experience. And you don't stand there. You just like give them your things and then you go shopping. And then at the end, they're like, we want to buy these 5 things.
That's a better system. It was always such an awkward dynamic to watch them judging everything.
Yeah.
It's like a diamond inspector putting on their little monocle.
Yeah. And you want to defend the things. You're like, actually, those pants are really great. They fit perfect. I have our questions.
Well, I have a question for you first.
Okay.
So I was listening to a podcast where they were drafting magazines. And what would your number 1 magazine pick be?
That's a hard question.
Yeah, that's why I saved it for you.
Because I feel like the first thing that came into my head was more of like a nostalgic pick, which was Bitch magazine.
Okay.
No, was it Bitch? Wait, there was also Bust magazine.
Well, there was Bitch and Bust.
And I loved both of them.
So which one are you choosing?
Both. But those aren't current. And I feel like,
I don't think it has to be current.
Okay. Also, I really enjoyed Nylon for a long time.
There's a stack of them in our living room right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like holding on to those because I think it'll be fun someday to go back and look at whatever it is, like early 2000s.
I mean, yeah, like when we were younger, it would have been cool to go through like some late 70s fashion mags or whatever.
Yeah.
Is Nylon still kicking? They around?
I think they are.
Should we get a subscription?
Maybe.
Should we get into magazines?
Yes. Maybe a magazine salesperson will come to our door.
It'll be our policy with our children. We're like, no social media, only magazine subscriptions, you guys.
And catalogs. We'll have like, our daughter will be looking through like Delia's. I spent so much of my 11-year-old life looking at Delia's magazine. Delia's catalog, I mean.
I was looking at the boy version of Delia's when I was 11, which was CCS magazine, which had like skate shoes and skateboards and pants and stuff like that. Which I was just called it CCS, but then I recently, in the last couple of years, heard somebody refer to it as California Cheapskate. Oh. Where I was like, what? How did I not know that's what it stood for? Which cheapskate is such a
cheapskate
cool term for a skateboarding.
It is cool.
Catalog, yeah.
Yeah, I can picture the cover of that. The CCS.
Yeah. I mean, that's like...
And all the shoes.
Where I would order shoes from, or like get ideas for shoes. It was like shoes that had come out, skate shoes, and then I would ask my mom to try to find them.
There was another one besides Delia's that I'm trying to think of the name of. That was like the other main one.
It's not... Was Claire's a store?
Claire's a store. No, I feel like this one had a color in the title. Like blue something or silver something.
That sounds vaguely familiar. I can casually Google while you talk.
Yeah, I feel like both of these catalogs were a little on the... I mean, I guess they were just catalogs, but I feel like it felt like a magazine. I read it like a magazine.
I'm on a Reddit called r/tip of my tongue. Teen catalog similar to Delia's. Let's see. Reddit always knows everything. This is great. Was it just Nikki?
No.
Tilly's?
No.
Limited 2, Wet Seal?
What? Oh.
Charlotte Russe?
No.
Rue 21? Aeropostale? Alloy?
Alloy. That's it.
Really?
Yes. Oh my God. Oh, yes. Thank you. That's my favorite magazine.
This is my new favorite Reddit is Tip of the Tongue.
Alloy catalog. Now I'm Googling that.
I'm also back on Reddit for Alloy catalog. Oh, I feel like it's a similar font to the CCS font. Yeah, this looks familiar. It's got a Delia's vibe. I'm looking at a spring 99 issue.
Oh, I'm looking at spring 98.
I don't think Alloy made it based off my preliminary Google search.
There's fun clothes in here.
Well, yeah, it's all in right now, right?
Yeah.
Man, I
loved Alloy. Yeah.
took a picture of one of my students' pants recently because he's this kid who's like thinks he's kind of like a, cool kid. And he sags his pants so low, and they are the widest, baggiest, like, Dickies you've ever seen. They are so scrunched up. Like, do you remember those, like, was it Bratz or
Jinkos?
No, like those little
the dolls.
figurines and stuff. Or no, the homies is what I'm thinking of.
Oh.
The little homies figurines.
Okay.
Anyway, he looks exactly like one of those. So, and they were a late 90s thing as well.
Now I want to order old Alloway catalogs.
I'm not sure what my number one magazine pick would.
What's your number one magazine?
Thank you
pick?
for asking, Erin. Even though this seems out of left field, I might go Vogue, just because anytime I've flipped through one, it seems so cool, and I love all the fashion photography, even though I'm like not super into fashion. Yeah, Vogue always just seems so cool. And I remember one time I got like an Italian Vogue, which is like way more risque than the American Vogue or something like that.
Okay, good answer. I'm looking at a list of all magazines.
Of all magazines? That's crazy. How many magazines are on the all magazine list?
Oh, look at Sunset Magazine. Do you remember we used to get that?
Oh, yeah, I definitely remember Sunset Magazine.
Kind of fun because it's like only the Pacific Northwest and a lot of like camping tips and restaurants and
yeah. When I was a kid, I was into Highlights magazine. That was always fun.
Yeah, same. Also Rolling Stone.
That's
and
a
then
big one.
People, in terms of like true crime, People's kind of like not tabloidy, so it's like a little bit more.
It's like a step up. I mean, in that podcast I was listening to, and I'd only gotten through like the first pick, somebody picked National Geographic, which that is pretty like undisputed, like top 5 magazines for sure. Also, they've been around for 130 years or something like that.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? Like, are there any first edition National Geographics out there? I wonder how much they're worth.
I feel like my mom always had Us Weekly and People magazine when I was growing up.
I'm just Googling the first copy of National Geographic. Here's what was in the first issue of National Geographic. Yeah, did you want to ask about our, what is it? What are we eating? What are we watching? What are we wearing?
Yeah.
What are we...
First is watch.
Okay. Well, I mean, gosh, there's been a lot of good television shows lately. Like Severance ended, and then White Lotus was like in the middle, so we just transitioned seamlessly from Severance to White Lotus.
Severance was amazing. The finale was incredible.
Yeah, I thought that Severance definitely like exceeded what I thought they could do. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm so used to shows like just edging constantly of like giving you just a little bit and then backing off and not really going where you want them to.
They gave us a lot of information in that last episode.
I'm kind of into this, like, yeah, it feels different to be like, whoa, we found out so many things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really fun. And White Lotus was good. I mean, super entertaining.
Yeah, that show's very well done and it's very fun to watch. There's a lot of criticisms of it that I understand, but I think ultimately when you compare it to other shows, it's very good.
Yeah.
I really liked watching it. Also, it is really bringing to the forefront Walton Goggins' sexiness. Like every day I see so many things online about his attractiveness and how like receding hairlines are back in now just because of Walton Goggins. Like,
He was so awkward when that interview where he was like told about how everyone thinks he's so sexy now.
oh really? I didn't see that.
It's just very funny the way he reacts about it.
Was he like, tell that to my wife?
No, I just feel like he's like, yep, life is really interesting. Like, just
He
like
is very like kind of a woo-woo spiritually type of guy. I saw an interview where he was talking about his son and talking about how his son went through kind of a phase of being like
an asshole.
yeah, kind of a jerk, and that he basically was like, you're at this fork in the road right now, and you can choose to dwell on negative things, or you could wake up every day and have gratitude for everything in your life. And like, the decision's up to you, and I know you'll make the right decision. And I guess it worked. The kid was like, I'm going to choose gratitude, Dad.
So both those shows were fun, but I want to talk about the studio.
Yes, I would love to talk about the studio with you.
Seth Rogen's new show.
Yeah, it's like him and somebody else like wrote it and are producing it and directing it. Or
I think going into it, I thought it was fun, and I just thought it was going to be a show about studio executives and like their relationships and making movies or whatever. But I think it's so interesting because it's almost like these vignettes or something. It's like this play where it's like these small little subsets of a storyline, and you just like dig into that moment, and then the next episode is something completely different.
Yeah, it's almost like a rocket-fueled sitcom on drugs or something, because it's got that whole like wrapped up in a single episode. There's not a lot of through lines or anything like that.
It is anxiety producing a little bit, the pace and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, the way it's filmed is super interesting, and like all the outfits and costuming. And for a while I was like, is this the 60s? And then I was like, oh no, wait, it's present day. They're on cell phones. It's all...
But it has 60s feel, and like the lighting or the lenses they're using or something, I feel like make it look like it's trying to be 60s.
Yeah. Which, when I read that it was, or saw that it was Seth Rogen, which I am a fan of Seth Rogen for sure, but I feel like he hasn't done anything like crazy in the last 10 years, just like solid comedy stuff. But, and while this show is super funny and has a lot of those comedy elements, like kind of very Seth Rogen-y vibes with some of the lines, definitely. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like a complete breath of fresh air compared to a lot of other shows that are out. It's so unique and different.
Yeah, really like visually fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's funny because Seth Rogen's actual character is kind of not like the acting's bad, but I feel like it's almost this like empty, I don't know, like it's not really that character's at the center of the story, but doesn't really matter that much. That makes sense. Like he's kind of like just there, and then there's like all the stuff around him that's happening.
Right. Yeah. The main plot isn't usually because of him or centered on him, even though it involves him.
Yeah, kind of.
We might be analyzing this too much. It's a fun watch.
It's fun.
It's fun to watch. And it is funny. It's comedy.
We started Yellow Jackets.
Can't tell if I'm all the way in or not. I think we watched, like 5 episodes?
Yeah. It's all right.
There's, definitely parts that I like. I like the flashing back and forth. I like that something crazy is starting to happen with the past girls. Spoiler alert. But I think this show's been out for like 4 years, right?
Yeah, we can spoil it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's fun.
And then we just watched Coachella.
Oh man, we are in between weekend 1 and weekend 2 of Coachella. I know I shouldn't date things on this podcast, but Coachella was a big event for me of tuning into the live streams of Coachella, which there's like 6 stages and it's all really well produced. Like every stage has like 5 or 6 cameras, and yeah, it's all live and fun.
And we watched Missy Elliott last weekend, and Lady Gaga's performance was amazing. Well, just the whole, what's the word?
The whole
production, yeah.
Yeah.
Choreography, the visuals, all the backup dancers were amazing.
Yeah, I don't consider myself a Gaga-man by any means. Like, I was not a huge fan. I don't dislike her, but we watched her set and it was great. She was so awesome, and so many great outfits and like themes that were happening, and like it was really fun.
The chessboard dancing, really fun. Yeah, if any people can re-watch that, definitely recommend it.
Can they? I feel like they're locking down the
Oh, really?
YouTube stuff where you have to kind of catch it live.
Wow.
That might not be true. They might be kind of producing some of the little things and putting them out.
Well, that leads into listen to.
I've just been
'Cause
listening.
we also listened to it.
We listened to Coachella as well. Yeah. There was a band that played at Coachella where Bernie Sanders introduced them. Like he came out. Claro, yeah. Which I really enjoyed their whole set. I was listening to it and didn't recognize them at all, but really enjoyed everything they were doing. And then the very last song, I was like, oh, I know this one song. It was one of the top songs of 2024. And I played it in my New Year's Eve DJ set.
Is Claro the band's name or is that the woman's name?
It's at least the band's name. It might also be the woman's name.
Okay.
Also, they had a vibe. It was like 3 guys and 3 girls, and it felt like what's the 6th version of a throuple? It felt like a hexuple. It felt like everybody was sleeping with everybody.
I want to see.
You want to see them sleeping with each other?
See, Claro, American singer-songwriter.
Yeah, I am seeing that for the first time there. Yeah. So that answers your question, Erin. It's a person. Her name is Claire Elizabeth Cottrill. She was born
Or Claro.
in 1998,
Just days ago.
which was, as everybody knows, was 12 years ago. Why did Claro get canceled? Okay, now I'm going on a deep dive. Claire did not get canceled is the answer in the traditional sense. She postponed several of her Toronto shows due to extreme exhaustion, though.
So she literally canceled them. She didn't get canceled.
I don't know.
It's pretty different.
I'm reading the AI overview, which I do is not always good. But yeah, Claire was good. In terms of listening to, well, let's check the recs here. I've been listening to a lot of electronic, fun party stuff, but like, you see bands.
Bands.
Oh, I listened to a really good album by this dude called Ski Mask, Skeemask. That's like some really interesting kind of floaty electronic, but then a lot of good, like just kind of hard beats in there. It's really hard to describe. It's very multi-genre, but really well produced. Think kind of like a little more like if Aphex Twin went a little more clubby. It's really good.
You were just listening to a fun song while we were logging in.
Should I play some of it on the podcast or should I just...
We could splice it in. Can we do that?
I think there's some rule like where if you play less than 5 seconds of it, it's fine, but you can't play more because, yeah, it was a remix of, is it System of a Down that did that Chop Suey song? Wake up! Wake up! I want to do.
Yeah, System of a Down.
But it was like a fun sort of Jersey club edit of it. Yeah, so that one might make its way to the DJ folder. Stay tuned.
Jersey Club Chop Suey. What about eat?
Well, it's Pizza Week in Portland.
So, we got pizza at Scotty's.
Yeah, I went to Scotty's and picked up some pizza.
And there was a DJ playing.
Yeah, Bryson Wallace, who's a great Portland DJ. He plays on a local radio station all the time and does a bunch of like fun jazz and hip hop and like a lot of records that are sampled by hip hop songs. Like he'll play the originals. He's really good. But yeah, he was DJing at he had a collab with Scotty's Pizza. And their slice of the week for Pizza Week was Defiant Jazz. Yeah.
Did you get a slice of the...
I did get a slice of the Defiant Jazz while I was
waiting. This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Well, yeah, I have to tell the truth on the podcast.
Was it good?
It was good, yeah.
Jazzy?
Yeah, there was like some sort of green splatter sauce on it, like a chimichurri. But yeah, it was good. Also, I sat out on the patio right next to Scotty himself. And the police were also there to talk to Scotty.
The band?
Yeah, the police and DJ Bryson Wallace were there. The police also had a collab slice. But the cops came to talk to Scotty about some incident that happened, and I was ear hustling so hard.
Pizza thief.
Erin, don't bring up other pizza.
Get it?
Yes, I get it. Pizza Thief is another Portland pizza place.
It's also a crime.
It's also a huge crime. I couldn't gather exactly what happened, but the cops were talking to him about something, and as the cops were talking to him, some lady behind me just kept being like, "Murderers!" And I was like, whoa. And I think the cops were just ignoring her.
I was trying to think about my eat one, and all I could think about was that coconut bliss ice cream, the strawberry glaze one.
Which one? Is there some sort of, is it based off a smoothie at a LA grocery store that was designed by a celebrity?
Yeah, it's the Hailey Bieber Erewhon smoothie.
That's
ice cream.
I was thinking of a
strawberry glaze. Yeah.
Celebrity ice cream collab.
Yeah, but it's really good.
It is good.
It's like strawberry smoothie, vanilla ice cream, and strawberry jam swirled together.
I mean, it's a strawberry ice cream.
Yeah. Correct. And vanilla and strawberry jam. But I don't know, we've been eating lots of things. I just can't think of them. Oh, wow. We had really good Thai food in Bend, Oregon. Should we talk about that?
Sure.
Well, I'm like obsessed. Why isn't that everywhere?
Why isn't that one Thai restaurant from Bend everywhere?
Yeah, Wild Rose.
It is
So
really
good.
really good Thai food. Yeah, it was very fun. We should. It's definitely taking Bend up a notch in my brain for going to visit family. Where I'm like, well, we could go get that Thai food.
See, it's that good that it's changing our feelings about going on trips to Bend.
No, that whole town went up a notch because
Yeah.
of that. Also, I want to go eat there with you
Oh,
because we got takeout.
also we should try it.
Also, have you heard about this restaurant we should go eat at? It's called Wild Rose Thai.
Yeah, that was really good. Other than that, I feel like we've just been eating at home. Lots of beans.
Earlier tonight, Erin had a list of things that we could eat for dinner, and one of them was zucchini. And then I said, what do you mean zucchini? And she said, well, you bought 2 zucchinis recently. And I said, those are Persian cucumbers. And then she said, they're zucchinis. And then we pulled them out and looked at them. She said, zucchinis. And I said, okay, let's cut them open. And we did, and they're Persian cucumbers. But that reminded me that I am getting excited for the salad of the summer.
Yeah.
Which there's a really good miso, poppy seed, crushed cucumber salad that we like making.
We'll link it on Instagram.
Yeah, it's a Molly Boz. But I was thinking that I've had a different salad of the summer every summer.
Oh, so scrap that.
Yeah, something it might be different. But I feel like you shouldn't search out the salad of the summer. I feel
It
like
will
it
just
should,
come to you.
exactly. You stumble upon it, and then you just know.
Yeah. Well, you're making me think about 2 things. Is one, we planted our garden, so we'll have veggies soon for our summer salad.
Might been too early, but we're rolling the dice.
Might be too early, and I'm really proud that we planted it. Also, I've felt really bad that we haven't had a garden the last 2 years. I think.
Definitely not last summer.
Yeah.
I think the summer before that we did have some things, but I think it paled in comparison to some of our gardens from previous years.
But I was realizing this was like helping me come to some realizations that I feel like last summer I had it on my like mental to-do list to get the garden in. And that was like, just like there's so many things on my mental to-do list. And we had a 1-year-old, and I feel like I should have just like it's okay to just accept like, oh, we're not doing a garden this year, or we're not doing whatever this year, rather than like holding that and then feeling bad that you didn't do it.
Right.
So I think I need to get better about that. Like, oh, we'll garden again when our kid is 3 or whatever. This gardening just an example. for
Right.
a broader theme.
No, you're talking about in general.
Yeah.
Letting go of those things that you can't control.
Yeah. Not going to organize the whatever room until next summer or whatever.
Right. Now's not a good time for it. Yeah. I think we made the right choice on not having a summer not having a summer. No, last summer not planting the garden because our son was so young. I know for a fact he would have pulled out all those plans.
Yeah.
And this summer he's just barely gotten to the age where like I'm a little bit surprised that he's not messing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I could keep an eye on him.
he's just now grasping to like, yeah, things that he's not supposed to do. Although he knows what he's not supposed to do and still does them.
Oh, he definitely knows.
Yeah. Are you going to be typing like that the entire episode?
I tried to do it while we were silent so we could edit it down.
Oh, I see.
I wanted to shout out masa chai.
I thought you were just going to say masa,
Masa?
like corn masa. I was like, oh, like that Peruvian blue corn drink.
No, MAHSA.
Okay.
The Moody Persian is the woman's name that makes it. She has like on Instagram and everything. Moody Persian.
Okay.
She's kind of a, I don't know, influencer type. And she started a chai company and she's local. But it's getting bigger. But I just had one of the masa chai lattes the other day at a coffee shop and it was so good. Yeah, delicious.
Right. Yeah. Moody Persian.
Yeah, or just masa. MAHSA.
Okay.
What have you been drinking?
That's a good question. Coffee. Water. The occasional alcoholic beverage. On special occasion. I don't know if I have much for that. I don't know if the drink should be in its own category.
Oh, it goes and eat.
Yeah, it should be eat/drink.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the next one? What are we wearing?
That's all of them that we did last time. We had what are you looking at?
Yeah. That's not TV and movies, right?
Right.
Okay. That's like art and magazines.
Art, magazines,
We've been
maybe
looking
things
at
you
the-
saw online.
Alloy magazine from spring 1999.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite are mine. It's hard to reduce it down to it's just a lot of them.
Okay, we'll skip this one.
We'll keep workshopping that list. We'll get it down to just a few.
Oh, read. That's what we skipped. Wait, did we skip that?
Yes, we did.
I'm about to start, or my book club book of choice is a book you just bought me,
I was going to ask, where did you hear about it? And then, like, who got it for you?
which is, what is it? The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And you heard it was really good on a podcast. And
Well-
ordered it, so that was nice.
Yes, I heard on a podcast somebody said they could not put it down. And I had a moment where I just said, let's buy Erin a book. So I just went on a website and found it and ordered it.
And then our neighbor saw it when she was over. And I'm so, oh my God, I love that book so much.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? This is news to me.
Yeah. I'm sharing news.
Which of our neighbors reads books?
Oh, I told our neighbors about how our other neighbor talked with us and said that he has resting bitch face.
Oh, yeah.
I
There's
love
this
that.
nice retired couple that lives across the street from us. Like, they gave us like a basket when we moved in. You remember that?
Yeah.
They're so very nice, but we haven't, connected with them a ton. Like, but yes, the husband, he's just very like, takes very good care of their yard, and he's retired and does a lot of things around. And
He takes good care of his yard.
yes, you didn't like I called it their yard.
It sounded like you said he takes good care of our yard.
No, I said their. It is his yard. She does not own any part of that yard. He doesn't let her. But yeah, I was working in our yard, which I have, a lot of grass that's coming in to pull up. And like, he came over and was very nice. He said, if you ever need help with anything, I know you have young children, like, you guys are so busy.
So nice.
Yeah. And he was like, and I know I kind of have like a bitch face, but trust me, I'm like a nice guy.
Did he say bitch face, not like RBF?
He didn't say RBF. He didn't say resting.
I feel like that's what he meant. Like,
oh, for sure, that's what he meant.
But it just came off as, that's so funny.
Exactly. It adds to his, like, yeah. I'm like, oh, Dad, you're using the term wrong.
Yeah. Bitch face.
Yes, but they're very nice.
So yeah, that's what I'm about to read. I'm just finishing a book that I think I mentioned in the last podcast, which is Heaven and Earth Grocery Store, which I really ended up loving. The writing is beautiful.
Yeah, we talked about
writing is really good. Yeah,
podcast. I'd let that book be good for book club. I'm never gonna live it down. Have you told them that I found it?
Do you want me to wait to tell them until after we read it?
So you haven't told them yet?
I have told 2
That's
people.
too many. They've already told the rest.
I don't think so.
No, I hope it's good because like I said, I only heard about it from one professional athlete that was reading it.
But then our neighbor.
Oh, you're right. That is 2 points for Garrett.
Yeah. Mostly what I've asked the people I've talked to is if they've read it or have any feelings about it, because I don't want to pick it if it's like someone has read it and didn't like it, or someone heard it wasn't, they have some associations with it.
But nobody's read it and nobody has feelings
so far. Oh, I have a good one for looking at.
What is it?
I'll let you catch your breath first.
Sorry, go ahead.
Get hydrated.
Will you keep me abreast of everything happening in book club, like if people are liking or not liking the book?
Yeah. I'll keep you abreast.
That's all I ask.
Oh, but I have one for look at.
You
distracted me. You look distracted, so.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
It's the giant statue in San Francisco.
What?
Yeah, the new statue of a naked woman.
I don't know what you're talking about. Is this your topic?
No.
Is this a new giant statue of a naked woman?
Correct.
Whoa. How giant?
Pretty big. Really big.
Like Coit Tower?
Let's look. 45 feet.
That is very big.
Yeah.
What? I'm going to have to Google this. Is there a name to it? Giant naked woman statue.
It breathes for an hour a day.
What? This is very big and very naked. It breathes? What do you mean by that, Erin?
This headline says the statue breathes for 1 hour a day. From a certain angle, it appears to eclipse the 245-foot clock tower of the ferry building.
Yeah, it's like right down there where the San Francisco Farmers Market is on Saturdays. Wait, does it go into different positions? Is it a robot?
It captures feminine strength and liberation. Pays homage to women.
It's pretty rad. I'm Googling, I've been searching it, and I keep seeing it in so many different positions. Like, there's no way it moves, right? Maybe these are different statues.
Yeah, I've only seen it in one position with like the arms down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like her haircut.
See, this is a good example of look at.
Yep. I think
Here. Does she breathe? Yes, for an hour a day. The one common quibble was not being able to detect the statue breathing.
What?
A feature created by internal motors and mentioned in the informational sign at the bottom, along with the nightly illumination. For battery and funding reasons, they limit the subtle chest motions that mimic breathing to an hour a day from 5 to 6 p.m.
Wow.
The illumination begins at sunset and goes till 11 p.m.
It's kind of like the Eiffel Tower when it gets all sparkly at certain hours.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people love it and a lot of people hate it.
Is this like brand new?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I think the name of it is Our Evolution.
Man, I love San Francisco.
Yeah.
I think we should do a trip back to the Bay again soon. It might be kind of fun to stay in the city.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I would love to go do a trip. Yeah, okay, that's my look at.
Nice. I'm sorry I mocked the look at thing. You definitely had a good one.
Thanks.
What have you discovered? That should be the category.
Watch, read, drink, eat, discover.
Discover.
Okay.
All right. Well, we both come to the kitchen table with two things that we want to explain to each other. So we are going to do the customary game of rock, paper, scissors. And we're going boom, boom, shoot.
Ready.
Ready. 2 rocks. She rocked my scissors. Oh, I papered a rock. Oh, I smashed her scissors. That was good. That was a good round. The other day, this kid, I always wait at the door for classes, during passing period, and I greet all the students at the door. And this kid was coming down the hall right as the bell rang, and I know him, and we kind of joke around. So I was like, "Oh, sorry, that's a tardy. Like, you weren't technically through the door yet." And he was like, "Oh, come on, Rochambeau for it." I was like, "All right, boom, boom, shoot. That's 2 out of 3." And he totally beat me at Rochambeau. And he was like, "Okay, no tardy." And I was like, "All right, cool."
It seems like a problematic policy.
What? I think I could back it up when questioned. Well, he beat me fair and square with Rochambeau.
I'll be like, oh, well, never mind. We didn't realize.
I think that I am going to go first tonight. Sorry to be selfish. So I am returning to one of my favorite types of topics, and I am going to talk about a movie tonight.
Okay. Be funny if someday we have the same topic.
Oh my God. Really? That would be nuts. Well, I'm going to talk about a movie, but not specifically about like what I like about the movie too much, although that'll probably come up. Never mind. I'll talk about that too. But I'm going to talk about the production of the movie.
Okay.
So what kind of emotions or thoughts come up when I bring up Waterworld? The 1995 Kevin Costner.
Well, right at first I was thinking about River Wild because...
Oh, that could be a whole other topic.
Yeah.
But we already know so much about it.
Yeah. But Waterworld, thoughts and emotions. I think about hydration. I think about...
Have you seen the movie Waterworld?
Yes. Dehydration.
They were pretty dehydrated. You're right.
It's a theme in the movie.
Yeah, he has that machine on his boat that he pees into, and it recycles his pee, and then he drinks it.
Yeah. I think about like Mad Max kind of style.
Very good, Erin.
Thank you. And I was thinking about that the other day when T-Pain was performing Coachella.
Yes, he performed at Coachella, and he had a Mad Max theme going on to his set, which I was like, what is happening?
Which made me think of Waterworld. So that's where his whole, yeah.
Well, that's interesting, is that's one of the things I was going to talk about, is that the writers of Waterworld were basically like, we wanted to make a Mad Max on the ocean film, like a post-apocalyptic
steampunk.
Yeah. So... I don't know if you know much about the production of Waterworld.
Wait, is the little girl from the Seal movie in Waterworld?
It's also in my note right here. Okay. She's from the Andre the Seal movie.
Okay.
And she's also in Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
I see you're drinking 1%. Is that because you think you're fat? Like, you could be drinking whole if you wanted. So it was made in 1995. At the time, it was the most expensive movie ever made. Its initial budget was $100 million, but at the end of filming, when everything was done, it totaled a $175 million movie. So it was the most expensive movie ever made at the time. Since then,
Where was it filmed?
Hawaii. It's coming up in the note, Erin. Stop ruining everything that's my note. Yeah, it was in Hawaii.
Okay.
For the most part. Since then, there's lots of movies that have taken the title of most expensive, like Star Wars Force Awakens was $447 million to make.
Okay. In your research, did you find what's the most expensive movie ever made?
I think it's Star Wars Force Awakens with $447 million right now. Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom is $432 million. And Pirates of the Caribbean Stranger Tides is $379 million. So then I was like, but wait, those are all pretty recent movies. And like with inflation and all that, that's not... It's not fair to compare to $1995. So then I Googled what $175 million $1995 would be in 2025 dollars, and it's $365 million. So it's like, it's getting up there with the top three.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I think, in the top 10 most expensive movies ever made.
You corrected for inflation.
Like, for perspective here, Erin, the next year, 1996, Independence Day was released, and it had a budget of $75 million, compared to Waterworld's $175 million.
And there's a lot of, like, special effects in that movie.
Oh, yeah. Independence Day was huge. Like,
I just mean it seems like it would be big budget.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of set pieces. They blow up the fucking White House.
Yeah. I don't think you can say that out loud.
Do you think my phone heard me?
Yeah.
They blow up a model of the White House in the film.
The 90s film.
In the 90s Will Smith hit Independence Day. It did not make its money back in theaters, despite being the 9th most seen movie in 1995.
9th most seen movie.
Yes, it got number 9. Do you want to know the other 8? I definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you. I will say though that Waterworld did make its money back eventually from like DVDs and VHS sales and things, because it got kind of a cult following.
Made its money back, like they broke even.
I think they made money on it eventually.
Right.
Not a ton, but I think they got their money back and some more. $10 more. So the number one box office movie in 1995 was Batman Forever, and it made $184 million. I don't know what the budget was for it, but
Is Clueless on this list?
oh my gosh, Erin, you are so good. It is definitely Clueless is 1995. I looked at the top 100 movies, moneymakers in 1995, and there's so much good shit on it. Clueless is in there. We should really go through the list together.
We should do a 1995 draft.
Yes. Ooh, spoiler alert,
We're doing it.
we're doing a couple movie drafts on this podcast coming up. So that Batman, I was like, wait, which Batman was that? That was the Val Kilmer, Jim Carrey, Tommy Lee Jones, Uma Thurman, Chris O'Donnell Batman, which I think back on all the Batmans, that was not even that good. Like, and that was the top $184 million movie. Although, was that the one that all those McDonald's glasses were about? Do you remember those?
Yeah.
Apollo 13 was number 2. That made $172 million. Toy Story was number 3 with $146 million. Right behind it, Pocahontas with $139 million.
Toy Story and Pocahontas came out the same year.
I had the same thought. I was like, what? And also, that's back when Pixar was its own company and Disney was very different. Like,
I 100% would have told you that Pocahontas was earlier.
yes, I feel the same way.
I feel like Pocahontas was always around. Like, I would have guessed like 1990 or 91 or 92.
Right. Same. 4th or 5th place was Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, then Casper, then Die Hard with a Vengeance, Crimson Tide, GoldenEye, that James Bond with Pierce Brosnan, and then Waterworld. And I have all the millions of dollars those movies made.
Is it like GoldenEye 007? Is that the full name?
Yeah.
And then did the Nintendo 64 game come out like after that movie?
Yes.
Thanks.
Which makes sense that Pocahontas came out before that GoldenEye video game, but
Why does that make sense?
I wouldn't
Because
picture
they
those two.
reference Pocahontas in the game.
I'm just basing everything in life now about when Pocahontas came out. Like it's pre-Pocahontas and
PP or
post-Poke.
PP. PP or PP?
Pre-Poke or post-Poke.
And they have the same acronym. Oh, that's because it's before and after, not P.
Post and pre?
No, I was just thinking that if... Yeah, never mind. I was thinking that BC and AD would be confusing if they were... But I'm...
Pre-Christ and post-Christ.
Because it's
PC and PC?
PC, yeah. So pre and post doesn't work as
That is
well as
confusing.
before and after. But at first I was confused because I was thinking that the second letter, like that if it was pre and post, but the second letter was the same on both. Never mind. I was confused. Of course the second letter is the same because it's the same thing that you're talking about before and after. Christ, Pocahontas, whatever it is. Never mind.
I mean, yeah, it was a bad riff that we're really dwelling on. So, Steven Spielberg told Kevin Costner not to film on water after his experience on the movie Jaws, which apparently had a lot of challenges as well. Like that big robotic shark that they made. Like one of them sank to the bottom of the ocean while they were filming. And I guess was one of the reasons that they didn't show the shark a lot in the movie. It's just because they didn't have the robot for a lot of parts of it, which later turned out to be one of the biggest brilliant things about that film is that there was so much suspense around.
Right, but you're not actually seeing the shark very often.
So one of the reasons that Waterworld was so expensive is because they built a large water tank for filming, and the tank was in the ocean off the coast of Hawaii, which breaks my brain that they built a giant water tank that was in the ocean.
Wait, for what? Drinking water?
No, to film.
But I don't get it.
They built a giant tank of water
And they filmed in it?
in it.
Why didn't they just film in the ocean?
Exactly. I think it's because it would be calmer and a little bit more predictable, but like, yeah, I need to see a picture of that thing. Like, I can't understand. Here, you Google, I'll talk.
Okay.
So, the entire filming was plagued by crazy tropical storms. There was a hurricane that caused millions of dollars of damage. And after filming, the Hawaii economy had gained $35 million just because of Waterworld, because of the crew buying things there and, like, you know, them having to build so much stuff. Do you remember that town in Waterworld, the floating atoll, where, like, he meets that lady and the little girl that has the tattoo on her back?
Yeah.
They actually built that floating atoll town, but then a hurricane came and sank it, and so they had to build a second one. The whole filming was supposed to take 90 days total, but took 150 days, so almost took twice as long. Kevin Costner almost died in a squall where he was tied to the mast of his ship, which I'm like, what was going on there? Because I don't remember any scenes where he was tied to the mast of a ship. But yeah, almost died.
Did you say he almost died in a squall?
A squall.
It's
not a
such
term.
an intense wind or storm, often with precipitation.
That's how I would describe it, yes. It's crazy that you know that. The actress who played Helen, Jean Triplehorn, and the little girl from Andre the Seal and Napoleon Dynamite almost drowned in a boat that sank while they were filming. Like, both of them almost died. A stunt coordinator also got decompression sickness, like the Bens, from filming something underwater and coming up too fast. And Costner's stunt double almost drowned as well. So a lot of people almost died. I guess one of the reasons it took so long, was so expensive, is they were filming out at sea for a lot of it. But anytime somebody had to pee, they would have to boat them back to a giant barge that had bathrooms on it.
Speaking of actors almost dying and stunt doubles, did you see that video of Florence Pugh jumping off of that building for her new movie?
No.
And she does the stunt?
Is she the new Tom Cruise?
Yeah. Yes. For Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Not familiar.
Marvel.
Oh. Cool.
And Marvel didn't want her to jump off it's the world's second tallest building.
What?
Yeah. Anyways, go on.
Wow, did not know. I don't know what you're talking about, Erin. Is that your topic tonight? That boat that the Mariner has in Waterworld, they actually built that boat, that pontoon boat, with all those cool little doohickeys and all that everything on it. And some private collector in San Diego bought it at an auction and just has it in the bay in San Diego, which is what a flex. I have the Waterworld boat.
That could be our, life goal. Yeah.
Gosh, I wonder how much he'd let it go for. So this next fun fact is the whole reason I wanted to do this topic. And when I was reading an article about this, is that Kevin Costner, during the filming, befriended a wild dolphin who he called Noodle and would feed it shrimp from the craft service table.
Noodle?
Noodle. Which he fed it shrimp and called it Noodle. I'm like, did he also feed it noodles? Or did he just look at a dolphin and he was like, that's a noodle?
Well, and then you said craft, and so then I was thinking about craft noodles, like mac and cheese.
Yeah. CRAFT. Isn't that what they call the food on movies? Craft services?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Okay.
I'll let you Google.
I believe you.
Mark Ishams scored the film originally, but Costner, upon hearing it, said it was too ethnic and bleak. So they fired him and got James Newton Howard to do it. Joss Whedon of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Firefly and all that was also flown out to doctor the script and said it was 7 weeks of hell, and basically it was him being forced to write in Costner's ideas. Also, I think Joss Whedon was also script doctor on Speed the year before, or the year after, right around here.
Well, then they're a good script doctor.
The original director, Kevin Reynolds, quit the film mid-filming because of his fights with Kevin Costner. Costner had to finish directing the film, and I feel like I know about where in the film Costner took over, because there's definitely a vibe change in the last third where it feels different.
Do they make movies in order?
That's a good question. No, they don't. Never mind.
Ever.
It's never happened. It's always backwards.
I mean, that probably is how some do it, because you do that final scene and then you reverse engineer from there to make it make sense.
I read something recently, this is getting a little off topic, well, it's on topic, that the Mission Impossible movies, that they do the stunts first and then write the story around those stunts.
That makes sense.
Tom Cruise is I want to jump off a mountain on a motorcycle and then land on a train. And they were like, cool, start filming it. We'll figure out a story.
It's ridiculous.
So Costner was awful during all this, was fighting with the director. Director walked out. He was going through a crazy divorce at this time to his wife of 16 years. So tempers were high on set. His divorce was Cindy Silva, which is one of the most expensive in Hollywood history. He paid her $80 million when they divorced after 16 years, and they had 3 kids
for
together.
Her.
Yeah, sad. Lily, Joe, and Annie. Then, when I was Googling, Kevin Costner divorce, he had another one last year. He divorced another lady. But this one, not as many dollars involved, because he had a very big prenup. And probably because he lost 80 mil on his first marriage.
Wait, who was he just married to? I feel like I know this.
It's the one thing I didn't write down.
Yeah.
During the filming, Costner stayed at a $4,500 a night villa in Hawaii, and I guess the entire crew was staying in very in these little cabins that had no insulation, so it had wild heat fluctuations and things. But he did put $22 million of his own money into the film, so I feel like if you're paying $22 million, you get to stay in a nice place.
Christine Baumgartner.
Oh. Also, after Costner was all said and done with this film, there was originally a 3-hour version of the film that got cut down to an hour or 135 minutes. So I really want to see those other 45, release the Costner cut. I would love to see it. And this is my last fact about Waterworld, and then I'll shut up.
Okay.
It was nominated for a Golden Raspberry, or the Razzies, which are like the opposite of the Oscars. It's for the worst films of the year. It was nominated for Worst Picture, Worst Director, and Worst Supporting Actor. Dennis Hopper, who's the bad guy in this, who was also the bad guy in Speed.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe the script doctor recommended him.
Joss Whedon. I love Dennis Hopper in Waterworld. Like, he's over the top ridiculous, like, with his glass eye and smoking cigarettes and being all creepy with the girl and, like, yeah. But they did not win any of the Razzie Awards because Showgirls came out the same year, and Showgirls swept the Razzies for all the awards.
It's funny, I was just thinking about that. I was just thinking about that movie the other day.
About Showgirls?
No,
Waterworld?
Waterworld.
What were you thinking about it?
Well, because of the T-Pain thing.
Oh.
Okay, is it my turn?
Yes.
So, I was going to talk about something that I know a lot about, but I'll do that next week. Instead, I'm going to talk about aliens.
Actual aliens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actual aliens. Because I read a couple things recently, and there's all, there's like a bunch of released CIA documents recently that have been...
Oh, yeah. Every once in a while I hear something about how, like, a statute of limitations is up with all these things from the 50s and 60s where...
Yeah. So there's been some, like, kind of wild reports. But the other day I read one kind of scientific discovery that was kind of crazy. And then... I read this... I think it is the 1950s, like, Soviet alien encounter report from the CIA that's really wild. And then right after that, I think like this week, there was a discovery that's really crazy. So I thought I would tell you about both of those things.
Please.
So the first one I wanted to tell you about is, well, I'll just read it to you. It's just on one page because that was how I read it.
Okay.
So this is a declassified CIA file.
Are there parts that are all, like, blacked out? Like...
No, but I did read that the original report was a 250-page report, and this is only one page, so I don't know.
Just one page got declassified, or...
That's a good question.
The highlight.
Good question. And it took place in 1989. Never mind, later than I thought.
Okay. So I'm picturing little 7-year-old me watching Thundercats.
Okay. After Mikhail Gorbachev dissolved in 1991, the KGB Top Secret Intelligence Administration, a lot of material from that department found their way abroad, in particular to the CIA. As reported by the authoritative magazine Canadian Weekly World News, U.S. intelligence obtained a 250-page file on the attack by a UFO on a military unit in Siberia. The file contains not only many photographs and drawings, but also testimonies by actual participants in the events. One of the CIA representatives referred to this case as a horrific picture of revenge on the part of extraterrestrial creatures, a picture that makes one's blood freeze. According to the KGB materials, a quite low-flying spaceship in the shape of a saucer appeared above a military unit that was conducting routine training maneuvers. For unknown reasons, somebody unexpectedly launched a surface-to-air missile and hit the UFO.
Jeez.
It fell to Earth not far away, and 5 short humanoids with large heads and large black eyes emerged from it. It is stated in the testimonies by the 2 soldiers who remained alive that after freeing themselves from the debris, the aliens came close together and then merged into a single object that acquired a spherical shape. That object began to buzz and hiss sharply and then became a brilliant white. In a few seconds, the sphere grew much bigger and exploded by flaring up with an extremely bright light. And that very instant, 23 soldiers who had watched the phenomenon turned into stone poles.
What?
Only 2 soldiers who stood in the shade and were less exposed to the luminous explosion survived. The KGB report goes on to say that the remains of the UFO and the petrified soldiers were transferred to a secret scientific research institution near Moscow. Specialists assume that a source of energy that is still unknown to Earthlings instantly changed the structure of the soldiers' living organisms. Having transformed it into a substance whose molecular composition is no different from that of limestone. A CIA representative stated, "If the KGB file corresponds to reality, this is an extremely menacing case. The aliens possess such weapons and technology that go beyond all our assumptions. They can stand up for themselves if attacked."
What? That is like a movie scene.
It's wild.
Like, I can picture it. I can picture, like, they merged together
Into a sphere.
and then exploded. It's like, it burned everybody's shadows into stone. Like,
Are those 2 soldiers that survived still? I mean, like, this didn't happen that long ago.
right?
Like, where are they?
1989?
Yeah. Whoa. It's crazy.
In the beginning of that, did you say Mikhail Gorbachev dissolved?
I think it means, like, politically. Like,
Oh, okay. Like his,
reign.
okay. I was like, wow.
After the alien encounter that dissolved.
He
Yeah,
got
did I
turned
say
to
his name right?
Gorbachev?
Gorbachev?
I don't know if I'm saying it right. I feel like it's interesting that of all these stories of alien encounters, they almost always involve a saucer.
Mm-hmm.
Which, is that coincidence, or is it just like somebody once said that and then everybody's been kind of like, oh yeah, I saw a saucer too. Like,
I know it's weird because it's like what came first, because that's like the like pop culture image of
right. Or it's real.
aliens. Right. And there's been supposed sightings and, experiences and abductions and everything. So, like, our image came from those
Although
descriptions also.
everything that we've launched into space has not been saucer shaped at all.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Katy Perry recently went into space in a rocket that's kind of shaped like a penis.
Did you see that Wendy's, the restaurant, tweeted, like, can we send her back?
I like all those pictures of her like kissing the ground afterwards after her 10 minutes in space.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast where somebody talked about that and they were like, all I could think about was that she's wearing so much lip gloss. Like, her lips would be so like sandy after that.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's tons of criticism about this whole thing.
It feels a little tone deaf.
Oh, not even a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's outrageous. Okay, but then the other thing I read this week, scientists find strongest evidence yet of life on an alien planet this week. In a potential landmark discovery, scientists using the James Webb Space Telescope have obtained what they call the strongest signs yet of possible life beyond our solar system, detecting in an alien planet's atmosphere the chemical fingerprints of gases that are on Earth and produced only by biological processes.
Wow.
The 2 gases, DMS and DMDS, involved in Webb's observations of the planet named K2-18b, are generated on Earth by living organisms, primarily microbial life such as marine phytoplankton.
Wow. So it could be like a planet in like early stages of.
Maybe.
I mean, isn't that kind of what life on Earth was at first? Was just like little algae in the ocean? Also, how do telescopes detect gases?
That's a good question.
Are they just looking at it and they're like, I think that looks like a DDS gas. What do you
Oh,
think?
it's like a gas.
No, that's argon, Steve.
The planet is called, like I said, K2-18b. It's 8.6 times the mass of Earth.
Whoa.
It's located 124 light years from Earth.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and gases found are those produced by algae on Earth.
124 light years. I love all this because it's like, we'll never get there.
Yeah. This suggests the planet may be teeming with microbial life, the researchers said. They stressed, however, that they are not announcing the discovery of actual living organisms, but rather a possible biosignature, an indicator of a biological process, and that the findings should be viewed cautiously with more observations needed. Nonetheless, they voiced excitement. These are the first hints of an alien world that is possibly inhabited, said astrophysicist, and it's her name at the University of Cambridge Institute of Astronomy, lead author of the study.
I feel like it's interesting to jump to the possibly inhabited, because that means like people or animals, essentially, right? But like the existence of like phytoplankton could be like millions and millions of years before there's any sort of...
Yeah, it's true.
But I also think this gives me hope that because of the vast infinity of space, like that if we're finding one planet that probably has some phytoplankton on it, that definitely means there's lots of other planets that have...
In all different stages of...
Right.
Yeah. This is a transformational moment in the search for life beyond the solar system, where we have demonstrated that it's possible to detect biosignatures in potentially habitable planets with current facilities. I think that's a lot of the excitement, is that now we're able to detect these gases. And
I just keep thinking of Futurama when the professor has that smelloscope that he invented, where you can smell things around the universe.
Yeah, it's like that.
The two little like tubes go into his nose and you just point it and smell things.
The planet orbits a habitable zone. Habitable. The planet orbits a habitable zone, a distance where liquid water, a key ingredient for life. I don't know if you've heard.
Oh, I've heard of it. It was one of my things that I'm drinking.
And your topic was related to it.
Oh, you're right. God, this has been a water-heavy episode.
Can exist on a planetary surface around a red dwarf star smaller and less luminous than our sun, located about 124 light years from Earth, in the constellation Leo.
Oh,
a light year is the... Oh, that's just telling us more.
Erin's a Leo. That's why I made that sound. Oh.
So that's wild that we can tell that there could be water on this planet and that it has a sun similar to ours.
Wait, you said this planet is 18 times bigger than Earth, and yet their star is smaller than ours?
So they're cold.
Yeah. Cold little phytoplanktons. No wonder they can't get out on the lam yet.
It's 8 times size of Earth.
Oh,
the mass of Earth. 8 times as massive as Earth.
Right. 8 times. That's still, yeah, it's big and small star. I don't like that star-planet ratio.
I don't either. About 5,800 planets beyond our solar system called exoplanets have been discovered since the 1990s. Scientists have hypothesized the existence of exoplanets called Hycean worlds, covered by a liquid water ocean, habitable by microorganisms, and with a hydrogen-rich atmosphere. But anyways, I thought those two stories were kind of crazy, like back to back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we could do a deep dive on all those CIA documents. And
yeah. I mean, there's been things like this for years, but it is interesting to see like the declassified government documents.
Yeah. Yeah, that Russian stuff is crazy. Also, didn't we recently hear that there was some kind of thing found on Mars?
Yeah, fatty acids, remnants of fatty acids, which could come from either... There's like 2 possibilities, and one is biological processes, but there's also another way that, like, I can't remember, it can be produced in another way too.
Right. I wonder if at one point, because our star is kind of on its way out, right? It's dying, or it's going to become a At any rate, like, I wonder if at some point Mars was the like nice zone around the sun and there was life there. And as the star has gotten smaller or less hot, that like our planet became the more inhabitable one and Mars died out.
Yeah. You should be a scientist. Tell the scientists your theory.
Or just get on that next shuttle to Mars that Elon and Jeff are going to put together.
Yeah.
But I'll have to put up with Katy Perry's singing. Nice. I like your topic.
Thanks.
You heard it first, guys. Definitive evidence because of CIA documents and the phytoplankton on K12B6. What is it? It needs a better name.
K218b.
That was close. I just started saying vitamins and mountains.
Vitamins and mountains.
K2,
What's your planet
K2B5.
name? It's your favorite vitamin plus your
Figure
favorite
out what your
mountain.
planet name is. Your favorite mountain plus the last vitamin you ate.
Well, when I was reading about this one, I was reading about kids in Zimbabwe. There was like 60 kids on a playground that said they saw aliens.
Is Zimbabwe where
Yeah.
a principal that we know is going soon?
Maybe he's going to that school.
He is an alien.
Oh my god.
Are you going to Google the entire time? JK.
Yeah. 1994. In Ruwa, Zimbabwe.
So a bunch of school kids saw aliens?
62 students between 6 and 12 years old said that they saw one or more silver crafts descend from the sky and land on a field near their school. Children claimed that one or more creatures dressed in all black then approached and telepathically communicated with them with an environmental theme.
What?
Frightening them and causing them to cry.
What year was this?
1994.
Interesting.
Skeptics have described the incident as one of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria.
Not all the children at the school that day stated they saw something. Several of those that did maintain that their account of the incident is true.
Wow.
It's a small agricultural area. It's an expensive private school, and most of the students were from wealthy white families. 2 days prior to the incident, there was a number of UFO sightings throughout southern Africa.
Wow. That's always like hard to ignore when there's like so many people that saw the same thing. And although I always wonder if it could be like, you know, some sort of government thing where they're testing out some sort of ship or something like that.
Yeah, I think there's all kinds of explanations. It's fun to read about. Also, I like all the memes right now that are like, this is the least of our worries.
Yeah, we have a lot of things that we need to set straight here before we start looking outward. And we will definitely tackle all those on our next episode, which could come out. We're not going to tackle them. We're not going to have another episode.
No, we will. Either next week or the week after.
Or next month.
Or next month.
Bi-monthly. All right, well, now I know a little bit more about aliens. Probably going to dream about that Russian thing tonight.
No.
So thanks for that.
Good night.
Good night. Can they hear that fly?
Can you hear the fly?
It's a loud one.
It's an unidentified flying object.
An unidentified fly. You think about it, every fly is an unidentified fly. All right, good night.
Have you ever transcended space and time?
Yes. No. Time, not space. No, I don't know what you're talking about.